What's going on? Red Velvet's back, and hey, we have a different setup now. I have my friend Jeremy Lawson, and he's my best friend now. And we are in the Diner studios, and it's a little different. You can see the back. You can see this is what my mind looks like. It's a little wild. So, Jeremy, what's been going on?
Well, we've been together for a couple of days now, watching wrestling and Liz taking photos of wrestling. Mm-hmm. We just went to the Alabama for dinner.
We had tenderloins and prime rib.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was a good time. Now, you've been a guest on here twice, technically. One episode we lost, and that was the record, baby. 3 hours, 10 minutes, but it's gone. So it doesn't even
And
count.
I feel like it was a good one, too.
It was a really good one. Then we had you on, but we partook in some sodas and watched a movie instead and tried to record it, and it was
a bit of a mess.
It's probably a train wreck. Sorry, Aunt Janet.
Yeah, so I do have an Aunt Janet who I brought up several times on the one that was deleted. So it's kind of an inside joke, but
yeah, that's why
she exists.
She does exist, and we don't get too vulgar because of Aunt Janet. So
yes, and we'll try to keep it that way. I mean, it is 11 o'clock on a Monday night.
Who cares? We're here to have fun. But so, Jeremy, real quick, we're kind of rehashing the original episode. Tell us a little bit about you. You're from here originally?
Yeah, so I'm from Brazil, and I lived here I was here for about 25 years. I was in Terre Haute a little bit too. I went to Indiana State and for photography. And then about 25 years into living in Indiana, I decided that I wanted to transfer to a college in Chicago and learn more about photography. I've always wanted to do photography since I was in 9th grade. I've been shooting.
Nice.
And I found a school in Chicago and went there with a friend that lived in Terre Haute. And she lasted about a year and a half, and she decided to move back home. And then I stayed up there for about 25 years. And just recently, a little less than 25 years, and about a year and a half ago, decided to move back home to be closer to family. And I live in Terre Haute now. I still do photography. I still actually work in Chicago. Yeah. And then I do work here as well when I can. And I'm excited that next week is the fair. I love photographing the fair in Brazil. So I'll be doing that again this year. But yeah, it's a definitely different. It's a big transition from living. I mean, I feel like I'm from Chicago just because I was there so long.
You don't have the accent. I'm from Chicago.
Yeah, I don't have the accent. Most people had no idea. They thought I was in either from Tennessee or New York, which are totally different. And also if I tell people I'm from Brazil when I lived up there, they were so confused.
Dude, that's the best thing now. I don't know if they're bots or people really think I'm attractive, but they're like, where are you from? And I just say Brazil. And they're like, wow, that's so cool.
They can't take it.
And I go, yeah. They're like, are you there now? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. And they're like, do you want to fool around? I'm like, you're in Brazil, Indiana? What's that? Yeah. So I just say Brazil just to mess with people now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do too, and that's what I did for a long time. But I got in trouble at church camp one time when I was younger because I had told everybody I was from Brazil and didn't correct them, and I just let them think I was a foreign exchange student at the church camp.
You're the Portuguese person ever.
I know, I don't even look like I'm from Brazil, South America. But yeah, I don't know. I've been back for about a year and a half now. And we connected over. I've always been a fan of wrestling, but I got more into it probably in the last 7-8 years. Yeah. And I was shooting for some independent companies in Chicago. And when I came back, I heard that there was a company in Brazil called Signal 10, and just messaged the guy that owns it, Kyle, and told him I wanted to shoot a show. And that's kind of how we met, I believe, right?
Well, that's how. That's when I met you, because you walked up to me and because I'd heard about you. So Kyle, here's some, what's the fourth wall? Is that the wrestlers call? We're breaking down the fourth wall, brother. Kyle goes, dude, this guy messaged me. He's a photographer. And he goes, he sent me some of his work. He's like, oh my goodness. He goes, he wants to come take photos here. I'm like, and he sent me what you sent him. And I was like, dog, AEW? What the heck? I go, how the heck you land that guy? He goes, he messaged me, man. And so I was excited to meet you. And then you walked over, you're like, I heard about your podcast. And I'm like, how's that?
How'd you know about that? I think I actually had been listening to the podcast. And I listened to it while I was in Chicago and then moved down here. So I knew. I don't think I realized that you were commentating at 1st, and then it was cool. It just happened to be a coincidence, and then we've hung out ever since.
Yeah, dude, we've been best buds, and you're now in another company that we work with, so in hybrid. So we see each other a
West
lot.
Terre Haute, which is a whole different thing.
Oh, dude, it's fun times though.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
It's a blast.
Yeah.
So what got you into wrestling?
Well, I started watching it when I was probably in 6th or 7th grade, and my dad was into it a little bit. He is into it more of just like making fun of it and making me think everything was real. Everything was like, so I loved it. And we went to WrestleMania that we've talked about that in Indianapolis. My dad was an artist really, but he was a painter. He did a lot of like pinstriping for like motorcycles, cars. So he could like he could look at something and like make it look exactly like he saw. So he made some really cool signs of like Macho Man and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Hulk Hogan. And we took those to the WrestleMania, and they actually confiscated them, I think, because they looked so real.
Oh my goodness.
And so I wish they wouldn't have, because I would have loved to have had them now.
Yeah.
But that was kind of a bummer. But going and watching it was so much fun. I watched it every time there was Saturday Night's Main Event. Oh, yeah. Like I remember my dad was a big SNL fan, so I think that's what got him addicted, is when they were off, they would do Saturday Night's Main Event. So we would watch it together, and I got into it then and started watching like WCW, WWE, like all WWF, I guess.
The F is out, pal.
Yeah, WWE now. But it was so much fun. And then I started shooting because of country music, actually. That's what got me into it. But then moving to Chicago and seeing the independent scene up there, which was huge, I just asked people if I could shoot, and it kind of led to me shooting wrestling too. So I got back into it that way.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's a crap ton of independent wrestling companies in Chicago.
So many.
Well, I feel like there's tons in West Central Indiana and Indiana period. Like we were looking, Kyle and I were, and it was just like, dude, there's so much wrestling around here. So I can imagine Chicago. What's like?
I don't even know how many were in Chicago.
What's like the biggest Chicago promotion you know of?
Well,
I know Black Label.
Black Label is a pretty big one. I mean, I would say that like I did a little bit of shooting with freelance wrestling, which is kind of like big on the north side. And then they have like AAW. There's so many up there, really. And a lot of them, like Seth Rollins started in Chicago, like in the indie scene. So like I feel like it also produces talent too because of where it is. You know, it's like SNL.
Isn't it like the third biggest city in the nation or something like that?
Yeah, and I think SNL, they discover people in Chicago because they're at like So I think it leads to that, but also even like coming here and seeing some of the indie wrestlers that perform near here, I've seen them up there too. So I feel like it's such I hate to say incestuous scene, but it's kind of like that. And there's so many in Northwest Indiana. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like it's all over. I mean, OVW that you went to, that's in Ohio, but you drive all the way there.
It's so much fun. Like, well, especially getting to know some of the OVW talent. Like they've been at Singleton, they've been at Hybrid, they've been around. I've met them, I've got to know them. So when I go down, it's like I get it. Like I have a hard time with kayfabe in real life because I feel like I'm living a wrestling story anyway.
So you need to explain what kayfabe is, though.
Okay, kayfabe is like the storyline. The Hulk Hogan his real name is not Hulk Hogan. It's kayfabe. His fake name is Hulk Hogan. That's his stage name.
So Aunt Janet, just to make it a little, to make it in other words, it's like Days of Our Lives. It's like Marlena. She plays the Deidre Hall is the person. Yes. Marlene is the character. Marlene is kayfabe.
That's right. And it's
you're like, what did you just say?
Well, I don't know Days of Our Lives. I was a young and the restless guy myself. But
kayfabe.
Yeah, it's kayfabe. But it's like it's 2025 now. If you think professional wrestling is real, more power to you. I wish it was too. But when I go down to OVW, like Eric Surge, love that guy. But it all play on words. It all came from that little storyline we had in Signal 10 about the bet that he wasn't going to win that ladder match, and he played it so well to me. Were you at that? You weren't at that show, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Dude, you missed it. But him and I were playing around with each other because I had a check I wrote and it said $500 for not Eric Surge to win, and he goes, "You're going to write that check. You're going to write that. You're going to drive me back to California." But then I go down to OVW and I'm like, dude, I love this guy. He's awesome. So I made a sign. And it said, Surge is the next OVW champion or something like that. Well, he was in a feud with Crixus, and the whole day leading up to going down there, I'm talking crap to Crixus on Instagram. Back and forth. He walks right by my sign and spits on the sign. And I was like, yes. But then, like, Ashton Adonis, former Diner Podcast champion, is now one half of the OVW tag team champions. And I'm like, I know he's a bad guy, but I'm happy. I'm excited. I know this guy. I've called this guy's matches. So I'm rooting for him. I'm one of the rare guys rooting for him. Brandon Beretta, the other half of the OVW tag team champions.
I tend to root for the bad guys a lot, which they call heels in wrestling.
I'm usually a good guy. I'm usually rooting for the good guys. But when I know you, had a relationship with you, we've worked together, that's where it becomes the real me. Like Red Velvet Evan Moore. Red Velvet is an extension of Evan Moore, if you haven't figured that out yet. He's like the fun version of Evan Moore. Evan Moore is really not that fun. But I'm like, dude, I want those guys to succeed. So I'm going to root for those guys. Sorry to any of the opponents that face those guys, because I'm going to trash you, because I want those guys to do good. And it's been a fun world to be in. And I just can't wait. I want to go back down to OVW. You got to think, OVW tickets are like $15 for first row. You can't beat that.
And there's a lot of talent that comes out of AEW. So $15 versus when they make it. Well, some people say make it on WWE, some people don't. But you're paying what, like 150 to like 500.
So when we went to the Royal Rumble this year, we were in the lower bowl. We paid $624 per seat. Which is crazy. It's outrageous in its own.
Which is like more than like every independent show in one year that you can see.
I'm like, well, they did have. So there was an independent like series of tickets you could have bought. It was like 12 independent shows that Royal Rumble weekend, and it was like $300, and you could have gone to 12 separate shows. And I'm like, I'd rather go to that, but
also you won't see Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble was awesome, but now I talked to some people. I might be able to get the hookup on some press passes, so
that'd be cool.
I'll sit up in the nosebleeds for free.
Well, even paying to see Royal Rumble though, like you're not going to see it again in Indianapolis for another 20 years.
It was a once in a lifetime experience, and I'm glad I got to do it. But at the same time, it's like I don't know if the wallet wants me to come back. But it was fun, and I'll never regret it. But it's a once in a lifetime experience. But OVW is awesome. You're getting good wrestling, and it's the future. Like I said. Brandon Beretta, he's been in NWA. He's been on Power a few times, and he's just a good dude.
And they have a Netflix documentary.
They do have a Netflix documentary. And did you know? Speaking of that, one of the people on the documentary, Hollywood Haley J, is in Power Slap.
No, but I love Power Slap.
Dude, she's been knocking chicks out.
That's a crazy show to watch.
Well, next time we go to OVW, you need to come with us. You keep bailing on us. I don't know.
Right.
You keep getting sick.
Yeah, exactly. I think one time I was covered in poison oak or something. I don't know.
He's been like on his deathbed and covered in poison oak the 2 times.
I would love to go there.
Well, I want to start going at least once every 2, if not once a month, once every 2 months. I mean, it's worth the 3-hour drive. And
it's in Louisville, right?
It's in Louisville. You get 3 hours of wrestling, and it's fun. And they interact with you because you're right there. And my goal is to make the guys that I know crack. There's one guy in there, I don't know, I call him Richard Simmons because he walks out there and he does the warrior pose, and I'm like, warrior pose. That's going nuts. I actually know one of the photographers. He has a Facebook page, and we kind of hit it off, and he put us in a picture. I was like, you're the photographer for OVW? He's like, yeah, brother. I said, next time I'm down there, we're getting a picture together. And I was like, hey, that's like
you were. I saw your photos though too. You were on the cam too. On the hard cam.
Red Velvet always finds a camera. You got to know where that stuff's at all times.
And also, we're not getting paid for this either. But if you're listening and you're local, you definitely need to check out Signal 10. He's the commentator. I do photos. Yeah. It's just a cool thing to have in Brazil, and it's at the fairgrounds. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. And seeing it in person is so much different than even if you're watching like WWE on TV, seeing an indie show in person, it's just it's so much fun.
You're up close with them, and then at intermission, they're at their merch table. You get to talk with them. You get to interact with them. WWE, if you're in the nosebleeds, you'll never interact with that wrestler again.
Right.
At a Signal 10 show or any independent wrestling show, you could be in 5th, 6th, back row, whatever. You will eventually get to talk to them or get a picture with them and get an autograph.
And even if you're not a wrestling fan, it's just a cool experience to have and just see what it's about. I mean, I've taken multiple people that are like, we would never go see it. And then they love it when they leave because it's a lot. It's not like watching it. It's like being there and being right up there. It's really cool.
And and we work with Singleton and Hybrid. Both shows are really good shows, and we work real hard to put on a good show. And when I say we, like I'm just talking and
no, but it's still you're still doing it. I mean, you're in the ring for Signal 10. So
yeah, and you never know, Signal 10, I may get to the ring and drop some bows, but it's just a fun atmosphere. I mean, yeah, and then we get to meet cool people. I mean, had you never not come to Signal 10, we would never met.
No, I bet not.
So that's why
I met a lot of people that way, actually.
Exactly. Signal 10 brings people together, and that's just, and it's fun family atmosphere, you know. And I've had several people that are like, let me know when the next show is. I'm like, I'm gonna let you know.
Right,
like,
right.
It's just a fun time, and I'm happy to.
And
happy
he
to be a
posts
part
his schedule for the whole year, like way ahead of time.
So you can, for the whole year.
Yeah, you know what's up then.
Exactly. So there's no excuses. So, how long have you been doing photography?
So I turned 49 in June, and I've been shooting.
You don't look 49.
No, thank you. And I've been shooting since I was in 9th grade. Actually, I photographed for 4 years while I was in high school. I photographed country music concerts like all the time.
Okay.
So I never got paid. I would like pay for tickets and go, but it was like one of the only genres that you could like take your equipment into and you could just do it. So I would get like really good seats, like usually front row. I would try to get as close as I could, and I would just shoot. And I learned so much that way. And I ended up, I've always loved it since I've done it. So I ended up going to Indiana State for photography. It didn't really, the program didn't really, it was kind of the same thing, photo 1 through photo 10 or whatever. So I wanted to go somewhere else where I could learn a little bit more about photography. Yeah. I do think Indiana State's a good school. It's just not for photography. It wasn't so great. It was more for the other things. Oh, yeah. So parties, nursing, I hear, early childhood ed. But I found a school in Chicago I loved. I went there and I started working for like the Tribune and the Sun Times, and I got into like wedding photography, and that's what I do mostly. So I do a lot of weddings. I do a lot of family shoots. That's primarily what I do.
She does senior pictures as well.
Senior pictures. Yeah. I mean, I like to photograph anything. And I think when people are, you know, I've had done weddings before. It's like, have you ever shot at our venue? And even if somebody hasn't done it, like you're all going to start somewhere. Yeah. So I feel like I've also had never shot wrestling until like maybe 2 years before I moved from Chicago. I think doing it is what gets you the experience. Yeah. So I will shoot anything. Maybe not anything, but most anything.
Set yourself up there, pal.
Yeah. I mean, most anything. But I love doing weddings. I love doing family shoots, senior pictures. And that's what I do mostly. But wrestling, I started doing for fun, and I'm still doing it for fun. I enjoy it. I think doing stuff for fun is what makes you learn more. Yeah, I think.
Well, and I know as the talent side of things, the photos you do make they're pretty BA, dude. They're awesome.
Thank you.
I love when you're like, hey, pictures around. I'm like, ooh, what we got here? And it's just, like I said, I try to do what you do with a cell phone. It does not work at all. But
especially for wrestling, it's hard to get stuff because it's so much action. I mean, sports in general, it's like not as easy to do.
And I'm sitting like trying to, but I have an iPhone. You have a professional camera, so that's the difference.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love shooting. It's like, to me, I look forward to going out and shooting wrestling. And I look forward to a lot of the things I do, but wrestling is something I enjoy. So obviously, and I started doing a lot more concert photography too. Like for probably 10 to 12 years, all I did was like wrestling. All I did was weddings.
All I did
wrestling. Yeah, I was in the ring. No. All I did was like weddings, family shoots, and then I work for a museum in the city that I shoot for. So that was mostly what it was. But then I was like, I want to go back to doing like the concert stuff. And that is what got me into wrestling too. Yeah. And it's so much fun. Like I just photographed Thomas Rhett at Ruoff recently. Yeah. And I'm shooting something at the Mill this year. It's just, it's just kind of, it's fun to be able to do that stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What's been the coolest wrestling thing you've got to shoot? The coolest match, coolest venue, coolest whatever.
The coolest wrestling thing I got to shoot is AEW. Okay. I mean, for sure. So AEW in Milwaukee, I shoot for the venue where they play. It's UW Panther Arena. And so anytime that they get AEW, I'm like the house photographer there. So I love that. I mean, I can walk around, shoot from anywhere I want to go. And that's a lot of fun because I also love WWE and AEW.
Yeah.
WWE's almost impossible. Like, you have to work for them to shoot for them. So they're not just letting people in to do that, which I understand. But AEW they're still allowing like press and the venues to come in as well. So that's kind of cool. As far as like the indie wrestling, I do love GCW, and there's a really cool place in Chicago. It's called Talia Hall, and it's like just an old dilapidated ballroom that they do concerts, and the only wrestling they really do is GCW, and it's hardcore. So there's blood, there's tables, there's barbed wire. I might have seen some pizza cutters every once in a while, but it's a lot of fun though. And so that I do enjoy doing that as well. But I'm not gonna lie, Singleton's pretty cool. I can do whatever I want. I'm at ringside. It's kind of nice.
It is. What was it? I was watching one, and you almost got in the action. I can't remember what show it was, but I did get hit by a belt this weekend.
Oh, HCW.
Oh man. Maybe it was that HCW, because I was like, oh, the photographer was in the action.
Yeah, it could have been that too.
Because you were like running for your life at one point.
I'm worried more about the cameras than I am.
Yeah. Because you handed me something, you're like, be careful with this lens. I'm like,
oh, it's a flash.
And I'm like, you gave it to me? And I'm like holding it like a baby.
I asked him to put it in his bag, and he walked like 10 steps, and it looked like he was holding a newborn.
Exactly. You don't give me delicate things. It's just not happening. It's not happening. So what would be your dream wrestling thing to I keep wanting to say photography. What would be your dream wrestling photography to photograph?
I mean, I would love to be able to be ringside at WWE or AEW. I mean, that would be awesome. No matter what the show was, for once, just to do it. I mean, it's also like the WWE and AEW, it's lit for you. So really you're worrying more about like timing versus like the lighting. Because, a lot of the indie wrestling, which is understandable, like they don't have that kind of budget. So they're using whatever lights they have available, or they're buying lights and they're adding on as they make money. Right. So if you're shooting for like a big, huge company, all you're worrying about is making sure you get the right shot. So that would be great. I also have I've shot a lot of wrestling. I've never photographed anything outside. I would love to do that as well. So especially during the day, doing something like outside, I've never been able to do that. And that happens a lot. I just haven't had the time to do it. Yeah. So I would say those are the two biggest. Okay. As far as the person goes, I photographed a lot of people that I've really liked to watch. So I mean, sometimes if they're as a wrestling fan, if they're in WWE, it doesn't mean that in 3 years you're not going to be able to photograph them in an indie company. So that's kind of hard to say. Like, I'd love to photograph Seth Rollins. I don't know if he'll probably retire in WWE. Probably. But
the way the current WWE model is now, I mean, we saw Natalya. She's been in GCW. She's wrestled for the NWA World Women's Championship. We've seen like that blood sport in GCW. Have you ever done a blood sport? Have you filmed that?
No, that'd be cool.
Dude, I want to go watch a blood sport because
they've never done one in Chicago.
That's like shoot, isn't it? That's like a shoot fight.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool.
The one I saw,
I think they're in Jersey a lot of the times.
Oh, okay. That maybe because it's probably athletic commissions and all that stuff. But the one fight, I don't know you call it a match, a fight. I don't know. The one fight I saw was Karrion Kross from WWE. And
this was GCW.
This was GCW, and it was because they both have like Muay Thai, karate. They have martial arts background. It's Karrion Kross versus Kratos from NWA, and Kratos was talking mad trash to Karrion. I don't know who won or anything. I just saw that clip, and I'm like, oh my gosh! But like, it's GCW is almost like they're starting to go WWE and all these other promotions like that. Bloodsport almost is just unifying. It's all these random people from different.
I know,
companies,
I love that,
and I'm like, that's what I
because they're letting them all wrestle now in different places if they want. And I do love that,
and I love the TNA WWE crossover. I know it's TNA and NXT, but TNA is good wrestling if you can find the channel. It's on.
That's the problem is finding the channel or the app. He just told me tonight that NXT is on the WB app.
No, it's CW.
CW. There you go. I'm still gonna never find it.
I'm going to send you the app so you can find it.
Send me the app. Maybe send me the exact link to push to watch that.
Watch this, moron.
Because I used to watch NXT all the time too, but now it's on there. So now I pretty much watch mostly anything WWE does, like Raw, SmackDown, all the pay-per-views. And then I watch everything AEW does, pay-per-views, shows. Because they used to have 3. Now they have 2, I believe. It's Collision and Dynamite. And then I watch TNA.
Yeah.
So, but I would like to watch more, but probably don't need to watch more. but I probably would.
Yeah, no, like because right now Trick Williams is the TNA champion. NXT
See, I know Trick Williams because he's the NXT, but he's the TNA champion.
Yeah.
See, I like that they do that.
I like that.
It also gets people watching more and like learning about more. So
that's what when I was doing the Power Slam platter, I'm still not sure if I'm bringing that back or not because I went down rabbit holes. Like we're talking hours of research, and I'm like, I should be doing all this research for my 30-minute show.
But it's also kind of good to have that for when you commentate.
It is. Well, I'm not when I get to WWE. That'll be good.
Well, you can throw out some references.
There we go. There we go. But like, just because what I would do is, what happened on TNA Impact? Well, here's the match card and highlights. All right, what potential storylines go off of this card? Here's option 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, what would happen on option 1 if this happened? And that's what gets me in trouble. But it's fun. I like the research.
A huge rabbit hole to go down.
It is a rabbit hole, and then I'm like, the show starts in 20 minutes, and I haven't got anything written down yet. Okay, but it's fun, and that's what. But the crossovers, like growing up, how cool would it have been to have WCW, WWE pay-per-view crossover show?
Oh, that would have been awesome, and that's why I watched both of those.
Yes, so right.
It would have been cool to like have the intermixing and like do different like tag teams with 2 different people. I would love that.
Now they probably would end.
They might start doing that.
They
more.
might. Well, I mean, we saw the WWE owns AAA. They partner with TNA.
And then now AEW is in with Ring of Honor, I believe.
AEW owns Ring of Honor, and they're partnered with CMLL, the other promotion in Mexico. So they're all building around each other. GCW pulls people. NWA partnering with.
What would you tell anybody that's never watched any wrestling? Where would you have them start?
Well, I'd probably have to start with WWE. It's probably the easiest to find.
Yeah,
you can find it on Netflix.
That's true.
And then
Netflix and Peacock. All you need is Netflix and Peacock, and you're set for WWE.
Exactly. You are set with WWE. Although you
don't need to watch all of that, but to get started, just get your test.
Just watch one because I don't watch SmackDown because it's on Friday nights. The worst night ever for wrestling because I have stuff to do or I just don't want to watch TV. But Netflix, Monday Night Raw, that's been their staple show, and now it's on Netflix. You can go back and watch
I feel like everyone has Netflix.
They do. But what drives me nuts is Peacock had the Monday Night Raws. Well, now that they crossed over to Netflix, they don't have all the Monday Night Raws anymore. Neither does Netflix. They don't have because they're trying to
go back.
They're trying to move the library. Well, I have a timeline I've been following, which is, I started in 1983, Starrcade of '83, and I'm all the way up to the 1998, and I'm trying to watch Monday Night Raw, Monday Nitro, ECW, Thunder. I'm going through that. Well, now there's gaps in the Monday Night Raw because they're in the transition period of Peacock and Netflix, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah,
so
that's a little bit annoying.
Now I've gone back to watching WWF Superstars. I've never seen, so I'm watching stuff from 40 years ago almost, and I've never seen it. And I'm like, this is awesome.
And what's that on Peacock?
It's on Peacock.
Oh, wow.
We're going to watch that after the podcast. Just so you know.
Okay.
It's like the main event one time was The Undertaker versus the Berserker, but then it's like Job Guy 1 versus... Bret Hart. It's fun, but they're just squash matches. But I'm like, I've never seen this before, and it's all done on a green screen because it's done post production. Vince McMahon and Mr. Perfect are on the mics, and it's like this looks corny as crap, but I'm gonna watch it. So anyway, didn't mean to go down a rabbit hole there.
No, that's fine. I mean, hopefully all of your listeners know what we're talking.
If you haven't figured out by now, we're kind of wrestling fans.
I feel like you know that you are when you listen to the podcast.
Dude,
I mean, come on.
I got this fanny pack. For those of you who don't, I got pizza sauce or something like that. Anyway, it's fixed. I got this fanny pack, and I've been walking around with it. And where'd I go? Somebody goes, "You remind me of Hulk Hogan." And I go,
"Because you had the fanny pack."
I had a fanny pack, and I go, I just need to get a pair of zoo balls. Get a pair of zoo balls, and I'm back in the 1980s wrestling, brother. And maybe
there's certain things about Hulk Hogan that don't make me think of you.
Well, wear balls. Yes. Mustache, but other than that, I love wrestling, and now that I'm letting people in. This dude, me, as you look around this gaudy room, this is me. And as what's been cool is I've opened up because I used to be pretty sheltered about it. Like I don't want people knew I was a wrestling fan. I made that pretty abundantly clear. But I was just like not gonna show too much. But now I'm like I don't care.
You're showing the whole room.
Like I play video games because I stream them. I'm like, you know what? I'll throw it up on TikTok. I'll throw it up and I may make 5 cents on a stream. I'm going to play the video game anyway. I'll make 5 cents on it. Oh, well. But you see, like I created a wrestling league. I created football teams with people. I know it's like, this is me. And now I'm finding out there's more people like me out there. I'm like, yes.
Right.
Just be yourself.
That's how you meet everyone.
Exactly.
Letting them know exactly who you are.
Hey man, this is me. I like wrestling and we'll make wrestling references. I may cut a promo on. You never know what's going to happen. So anyway, I want to leave you with this thought. So dream scenario, where do you see like WrestleMania? Is that the Ayatollah? Is that the word?
To photograph?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, that'd be amazing. I would love to shoot the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
I think that would be a tough thing to shoot.
Yeah.
But I would love to do that. But yeah, I mean WrestleMania would be amazing.
Now what was your all-time favorite match growing up? Or now or whenever?
Oh gosh, that's tough.
Okay.
Well, we'll start with yours.
Mine?
So I can think about it.
Okay. Hell in a Cell 1998.
Oh, that's a good one. You said that. I've heard you say that before too. I mean, honestly, as a kid though, growing up when I watched it, because there was a huge gap where I didn't watch it, and that's probably where that would have formed more. But like as a kid, I always loved the Rumbles because it was everyone. You know what I mean? And the countdown, and like I loved that. So for me, that's probably what it was. I liked a lot of anytime it was like I loved watching Bret Hart wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like it was certain people that I liked to see, like Rick Rude, Bret Hart.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the Ultimate Warrior matches.
Steroids.
Pretty much.
Well, that happens.
Yeah.
That's wrestling, bro.
But I mean, that was a lot of wrestling when we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I liked a lot of them back then. Oh, this is because of my dad, but I also loved Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh!
Yeah, exactly. He was obsessed with him.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
He only had like 4 moves, but he was awesome.
Yeah, and everybody loved him.
Exactly.
He brought a 2x4
Yeah,
out.
2x4
An American flag, and people went
and
crazy.
His moves were punt, right hook, haymaker, and shoulder block.
And then he won.
Pretty
much
that was it.
That was it.
Yeah, I mean that's I always say the new generation, which is probably one of the worst eras in wrestling, but that's when I 80s wrestling. I was born in 89, so 80s wrestling I kind of missed out on, but the 90, 92, 90 to 94. That's what molded me, and I thought it was good wrestling. I mean, the whole wrestling.
And see, that's what I didn't see as much.
Oh yeah,
I didn't see as much of that now. I mean, a little bit of I would say 92, maybe some in 93.
Yeah,
but I was like, I kind of stopped watching when I was in like 11th grade or so.
Yeah.
I was so much more into like.
It was lame.
Well, no, I would listen. I was going to see Reba McEntire and Garth Brooks. I was listening to so much country music and going to so many concerts. Like that's pretty much all I did. And when I wasn't at the concerts, I was like, you know, having my film developed and like doing all photography stuff. So I kind of like fell off. But then I'm glad I picked it up again. I mean, when I picked it up again, it was a while back though. Like I missed The Rock. Like I went back and watched these things, but like I missed like
the whole attitude era.
A whole attitude era, which sucks because that's what most people talk about.
Yes. And that's like I was 8 years old when my parents took me to a Monday Night
Raw.
Me
about that.
And oh my, dude, 8 years old.
Some stuff going down,
dude. It was awesome. But that helped mold me, like because I was used to the new generation when you know you had TL Hopper, the plumber, and like these career gimmicks, and then it's like we will not say beep 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 beep. I'm like, oh my!
You were just mesmerized.
Yeah, and that's when wrestling was really cool. I mean, it's pop culture. I mean, it was everywhere. Like Jay Leno was in a wrestling match.
Oh yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, it was just
the Hogan days too, though. It was like crazy.
So I love, like, I know Hogan he's painted himself into a corner with what he is, but I still love Hulk Hogan. Whenever I know he got booed out of the building when Monday Night Raw was on Netflix.
The first one, right?
Yeah, but I was like, dude, it's Hulk Hogan because it took.
I mean, that's what I know too, because that's what my dad. That's why my dad got into it, because it was just a thing. It was everywhere. It was in Rocky.
It was.
I mean, wasn't he in Rocky? Yeah,
Rocky 3.
Yeah. I knew it was.
That got him fired from WWF the first time.
Oh, because he did. Yeah,
because they said if you do that movie, you're fired. And he goes, all right, see you later. So he went to he did the movie, then went to AWA, and then left there and went back to WWF. Yeah. No, I mean, but you got to think, and I'm going to ask you one more question. I keep saying one more, but who knows? But you got to think, without Hulk Hogan, where would wrestling be? I mean, he took it to heights. I mean, got the partnership with MTV and got the big. I mean, Vince McMahon was very instrumental too in making wrestling really popular, but it was on the back of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
I mean, Ric Flair was on that level too, but he was on such a smaller scale, like because NWA just did not have all that. Hulk Hogan took wrestling to a whole new level, and then in the '90s, even re-energized it when he turned into a bad guy. So I'm like, if you don't have those 20 years of Hulk Hogan, what do you have?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it. Since 2002,
he did a lot. I mean,
he's a piece of crap.
He was wrestling. That's what it was. I mean, that's how a lot of people started liking it.
And I got so excited when I got to meet him in person. I got so excited. I mean, I was 20, 6. I mean, I still felt like I was a little kid, but
26 going on 12.
26 going
What
on
it was
12.
like.
Yeah, maybe 7. Who knows?
Right.
But I was just like,
You're like, actually, I was like 35.
yeah. No, I was that 2015?
Like it was last year.
That was 10 years ago. I was 20. Yeah, I was 26. All right. But it's just like when I see that, like Ultimate Warrior, loved him as a kid. Now as an adult, I'm not sure.
See, I loved him as a kid. I don't. It's not the same.
Yeah, because you hear all the horror stories about him, and it's like, I don't know yet. I mean, but everybody I talked to was an Ultimate Warrior fan growing up. Papa Shango, dude, I love that guy.
Yeah,
and he was goofier in Sin, but
I liked the goofy ones too.
Yeah. I saw him.
Loved the Bushwhackers. Yeah, those were like, I mean, at the time, somebody would ask me back then, my favorite, it would have been like people like that, like Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I remember when they did a triple, they were tag team partners for a while.
Oh, really?
I think not for a while, maybe one show, but the three of them got together and it made sense. They did kind of the same movements.
Did you, they were in a Survivor Series match, which I love Survivor Series matches too, because you got to see random teams form.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
And
actually.
they were,
because they were on the same team.
Were they doinks? Or I think they were doinks. Like they all came out as there was like a bushwhacker.
Like Doink the Clowns?
Yeah, they all dressed up as doink face paint. They all did something. I think it was doink, but don't quote me. It was like 93. But did you ever watch the Bushwhackers before WWF when they were sheep herders?
Yeah, yes.
They were violent.
Yeah,
they were like
totally. I feel like that happens still. Like with WWE. Sometimes I don't love that part is like they get on there and they're like they change them completely.
They do.
Which I don't love that all the time, but I also understand it's a kid. It's really geared towards kids kind of.
It is.
But we watch. But it's I can see why they're doing that. But Bushwhackers were insane.
Dude, they were insane. And then people were like, why'd you go there and have to do all that? And he goes, did you not see our paychecks? Like, duh.
That's why a lot of them do it.
Exactly. I mean
but I think that's what's nice about them splitting, doing Ring of Honor, doing all the other things is they can let them do other things when it's not on TV.
And that's what's good about other companies forming, because when in the early 2000s, when it was just WWE, it was probably a good product. I kind of tuned out then because I was getting middle school and I didn't want people to make fun of me for being a wrestling fan. So I kind of tuned out a little bit.
I know. I'm worried that's what's happening to my nephew now. I think he's like, I feel like if you really like it the way he does, you always go back to it. It just might take a while.
It just takes some time, but at the same time, it's hard being a middle school kid. But I would say F what people think, But it took me 30 years to figure that out.
Yeah, and middle school is where it starts usually.
Middle school's rough, but but like when WWE was by itself, TNA started in late 2002. It wanted to be the alternative. That's why they started with a 4-side, then they went to a 6-sided ring, which I like. It's cool looking. I'm sure it sucks as a wrestler, but
I bet it's rough.
WWE has to have that competition to be better. If they're just by themselves, the product's going to suck. And we saw that when TNA tried to go after them and they dropped, and then it was just WWE for like 10 years. And then finally,
it's also like when they release wrestlers or they're gone, where do they go? They go back on the indie thing. Now they can go to AEW if they want, or they can go to other shows that are televised.
And really, luckily, like Matt Cardona has made a career now just being indies.
I love him.
He's awesome. But had he not busted his butt, he'd do that on his own. If he not busted his butt on social media, he wouldn't. Indies. He helped raise the indies, in my opinion, a little bit.
I think so too, because he was everywhere.
He was, but then showing up on TNA, showing up on AEW, like it's almost like, is it worth having a WWE contract, or should I take matters into my own hands and bounce around to these different places?
It works for him.
I'm sure
it works for some people. I bet.
I'm sure it's tough. Like there was on Cody Rhodes at the podcast now. I didn't know if you knew that, but he was talking about like when he was on the indies and he was, doing his rate and stuff. I mean, his rate was somewhat cheap for what I thought, but he goes, I'm humble. He goes, I'm not going to charge thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I'd say it was around $700-800.
And that's not bad for.
No. And I'm like, hey, Cody Rhodes, he was coming right off an Intercontinental title run. And it's like, well, but it's almost, when we've been in the wrestling world a little bit, it's like, what do you charge? You don't want to offend people, but
I know. I always want to know, but I'm also like, I would never. It's tough.
It's tough
because everybody gets paid different, and it's like they're working together, and they should be working as a unit. But it's like we know, but they don't need to tell us.
No, I don't want to know that bad. I just like, but I've learned that it's like you have business rate, you have wrestling rate, you have this, you have that, and it's like there's so many factors going into this. It's like, is it worth just getting a WWE contract and being on the road 360 days a year? But I also don't want that either. Like being gone all the time suck.
Yeah, and you might be on the road that long and you're not even on wrestling.
No, you're just catering, hanging out.
which is crazy.
Which I would be okay with that. You just hang out. Oh,
Well, I mean, that's true. You're getting paid to eat like burritos and backstage. That's not a bad idea.
yeah. And can you help hold my mirror? Yeah, no problem. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe that's where I fit in. I thought being like,
Like,
a
did we do
backup
something
football.
wrong?
I thought about being like a backup football player would be awesome. You're making buku bucks and you ain't got plays there.
You're just gaining weight.
Yeah, you're just hanging out and stay in shape in case somebody goes down. But I don't know. All right, my last question, I promise. Who's your Mount Rushmore of wrestling? You get 4.
Oof. Oh, that's like now, anytime.
All time. You're the Jeremy.
Now, what can I ask? What does this mean, though? Does it mean like who I think are the best wrestlers, or who I like to watch wrestle? Like, because I think there's a difference. Like, who's technically like the best wrestlers?
All
Or
right, let's go both then. Let's start with.
oh
who's the
God,
best.
can we just do them all together? I'll pit 2 and 2.
There you
Let's
go.
do that. So, technically, the best, I think, I would go with. Okay, so I really like high flyers.
Mhm.
So this kind of
Oh,
is
you like flippy floppies?
I do like flippy floppies. But I would say I think Seth Rollins is on the Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
I do. I think that I'm gonna put. I hate to say this because I know all the stuff, but I would put Hulk Hogan on there.
Mhm.
I think. I'm gonna. I know he's not like maybe not. People don't think he's the best wrestler, but I'm gonna put Andre the Giant on there too.
Okay. Well, he was a draw, baby.
He was a draw. So I got Seth Rollins, Hulk Hogan, and that's a weird bunch, and Andre the Giant. I would probably go. This is like totally off all of this. I really enjoy watching Ricochet wrestle.
Okay.
I know he's tiny.
You went from Andre the Giant to
I
Ricochet.
know, but how great of a match would that be? It's like the David and Goliath.
Yeah.
But I think I just love how he flips. I love how he does things. I think some of the stuff he does I can do without, but like I think he's really good.
Mhm.
I would say those 4. Now it'll change like in 10 minutes. And as soon as if you told me yours, I'd be like, oh damn.
Well, I'll tell you mine. I mean,
I think you told me this before, and I know I'm
well,
gonna
it's
change.
probably changed too. Because
It changes all the
there's an
time.
honorable mention too, but like I gotta go with Hogan because it wouldn't be where it's been without him. I gotta go selfishly the Undertaker. That's my favorite wrestler of all time. Stone Cold was entertaining. I was never a big Stone Cold fan. I liked him until he went up against the Undertaker.
See, I missed all his stuff, and he'd probably be on my list.
But he
because-
was the biggest merch mover. He sold the most merch out of anybody. And then I go back. Was that 3?
That's 3.
I go back and forth between Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair.
See, I almost said Shawn Michaels.
Like,
I forgot about Ric Flair. There's too many. There's too many.
wait a minute. But like Shawn Michaels was more. They say they're about the same. The similar with their not their style, but the work rate and all that. I'm going to go ahead and say Shawn Michaels because that's more my generation. Ric Flair.
And see, he's a high flyer to me too. Like the Rockers, like all that
Oh,
stuff. I
dude.
loved all that.
Yeah. I'm still bummed the Rockers never got that world title.
Yeah,
World
because
tag
they
team title.
were. I loved the Rockers.
I did too. I didn't know much about them. I just saw these dudes in green and purple running around.
The only thing that always was weird is when I knew the Rockers as a kid. It was also when there was somebody in Brazil that they called the Rocker. Do you remember this?
No, what? Go.
Maybe it was my mom was fucking with me. Oh, sorry. but I don't know. And I always like was confused of who was who, but I was little though. I don't know. I remember there was somebody here that
The
they called
Rocker?
that. Yeah, but I'm scared that they're listening because my mom, like it was something about somebody in Brazil, and he was like, he would walk down the street and he would rock as he walked, and they called him the Rocker. I swear I'm not making this up. Maybe I am.
I have never heard
My
of this.
mom did like to mess with me as a kid, so it could have been fake.
I've never heard of this until now.
Yeah, okay, we need to research this because I swear, if somebody let us know because I feel like that was a
I
thing.
mean, there's the beater.
I know the beater. I don't know the beater like that, but I know the beater, and my mom did some messed up stuff with that too. That could be a whole nother thing. She'd be like, "We're going somewhere tonight." Like, what is that? Go look in his window. It was awful.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you need to have her on. You'd be canceled. It would be a bad decision.
So that'd be a Spotify only.
Yeah, Spotify only. But thanks for not saying OnlyFans. But yeah, it would definitely be
Well, it might be OnlyFans too. You pay 99 cents to listen to that podcast.
right.
I don't know, but we're gonna hang out more. I guarantee it. Thank you for hanging out with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been fun. Real quick, I want to thank the people that make this possible. Our sponsors. Wabash Valley Plumbing, they lay pipe. That's our slogan, not theirs. Peak Performance Gym, no peak, no results. RJs Formalwear, they have sweet suits. Stitched Embroidery and Apparel. They embroider stiff. And Everhote Co. for your permanent jewelry and fancy sportswear. So also thank you to our subscribers for paying to hang out with us, and not to hang out with us, but to support the Dinerpod. It means more than you know. And if you want to be a subscriber, it costs less than a cup of coffee. It's 99 cents a month. So if you're interested in that, click that subscribe button. And with that,
Hold on. Hold on. Why does it look like I'm wearing? It looks like I'm wearing like, what are they, jorts? What is that? Do you see how it's?
Yeah, that's my arm.
Hold on.
That's my arm.
Oh, that's messed up. Hold on. There we go. What is that? So weird. Okay.
All right. We're out of here because I'm laughing now. Take care. We'll keep pushing. We're out of here.